Welcome back. This week was all about a huge paradox that's really going to define the future of AI. On one hand, intelligence is getting so cheap it's almost free. But on the other, the cost to build the foundations for it is just skyrocketing into the hundreds of billions. We're going to unpack all of that, plus a whole flood of new models and a truly stunning leap in quantum computing.
So let's just dive right in. The big theme this week is this fascinating contradiction. The actual price you pay to use powerful AI is just plummeting, while the cost to build the massive infrastructure that creates it, well, that's exploding into the stratosphere.
All right, so here's how we're going to break down this week's news. We've got 5 key themes that'll show you how everything connects, from the physical arms race for computer chips all the way to some pretty wild breakthroughs in quantum physics.
Okay, first up, the biggest story right now isn't even about code anymore. It's about the colossal physical stuff. We're talking power plants, data centers, just sheer hardware that you need to power the next wave of intelligence.
And the week kicked off with this number that just kind of makes your jaw drop, $100 billion. That's the potential price tag on a historic infrastructure project that was just announced between Nvidia and OpenAI.
Now, this isn't just about a big shopping spree for computer chips. This really pulls back the curtain on OpenAI's playbook for dominance. It's a 3-part plan. First, you secure the chips with Nvidia. Second, you secure the talent by poaching top hardware folks from Apple. And third, you frame the whole thing in this grand humanity-saving vision, which is exactly what Sam Altman did in a new blog post.
And listen, this isn't just a Silicon Valley game anymore. We're seeing entire countries get in on this. South Korea is making a huge play, positioning its upcoming APEC summit as a major hub for AI policy. And it's leveraging its own hometown heroes like Samsung to attract global leaders and a whole lot of investment.
So you've got all this insane investment in hardware. What's the immediate payoff? Well, it's this absolute explosion of powerful new AI models that are getting faster, cheaper, and way better on what feels like a weekly basis.
And xAI's new Grok 4 Fast is the perfect example of this. It gives you performance that's right up there with the best of the best. It even beats bigger models at coding, but at a staggering 98% price reduction. I mean, that's not just about being more efficient, it's about making elite-level AI available to basically everyone. So, while some folks are racing to be the cheapest, others, like Alibaba, are just going for pure scale. They just dropped the flood of specialized models, including one with a massive 1 trillion parameters, which is just a rough way to measure how complex a model is. Of course, this creates a whole new problem. How on earth do you compare all these things? Well, that's where companies like Scale AI are stepping in, creating totally new ways to benchmark models based on what real people actually like.
Okay, so we've got the big money and the big models. But what does this actually mean for you and me? Well, these cheaper, more powerful models are starting to pop up everywhere in our daily lives, from the software we build to, even how we find a date.
And Google just dropped this report with a fascinating paradox in it. Get this. AI adoption among developers is almost universal. We're talking 90%. They're spending hours a day with it. But trust in what the AI spits out is incredibly low, only 30%. So it seems like everyone is using it to go faster, but they're still relying on their own human brain to be the final judge of quality.
And speaking of our daily lives, Meta's now trying to use AI to cure swipe fatigue. You know that feeling, right? They're coming at it from 2 angles. One is a hands-on assistant that helps you find matches and polish your profile. The other is a totally automated feature called Meet Cute that just sends you a surprise match once a week.
It's also incredible to see AI becoming both a creative partner and a personal assistant. On the creative side, an AI artist just landed a $3 million record deal using a music generator. And on the productivity side, ChatGPT's new Pulse feature basically becomes your personal intelligence analyst, creating a custom morning briefing for you before you even wake up.
So whenever you have this much change, this fast, you're going to get some friction. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. Legal battles, new safety worries, and some really tough questions about AI's place in the professional world. It's the messy part.
Now, this sounds like something straight out of science fiction, but it's now a very real area of research. Google DeepMind is actively monitoring for shutdown resistance. And yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. This is a huge deal for safety research because it means they're not just trying to solve today's problems, they're trying to get ahead of the unpredictable and, frankly, potentially dangerous things future AIs might do.
And of course, the human drama kicked into high gear this week, with Elon Musk's xAI suing OpenAI over employee poaching and stealing secrets.
But while all that drama's happening in the courtroom, the AI itself, completely unfazed, just quietly passed all 3 levels of the CFA exam, a test that takes humans years to prepare for.
So how good are these models against actual human professionals? Well, OpenAI's new GDP-Val benchmark tried to figure that out. And the results show that, well, they're getting really close to parity. I mean, look at this. Anthropic's Claude model is already winning against a human pro almost 48% of the time. We don't have the numbers for GPT-5 just yet, but you can see how fast that gap is closing.
And finally, let's look at what might be the most profound impact of AI. It's not just what it can do on its own, but how it's speeding up breakthroughs in other huge fields, like quantum physics, that could totally reshape our future. So, researchers at MIT are using an AI called SciGen to discover brand new quantum materials. And the process is so elegant. The scientists just give the AI the rules. The AI generates millions of possible candidates, and then the humans just verify the best ones in the lab. It's taking a discovery process that used to take years and squishing it down to happen almost instantly.
And speaking of breakthroughs at scale, Caltech researchers just made a massive leap in quantum computing. They built the largest platform ever with over 6,000 qubits, which are kind of the basic building blocks of a quantum computer.
But here's the truly brilliant part. It's not just about size. It's about quality. They managed to build this huge system while also setting new records for stability and accuracy. So in simple terms, they built a much bigger quantum computer that also makes way fewer mistakes. And that is a crucial step toward making these things actually useful.
So the key takeaway here is pretty mind-blowing. AI isn't just its own revolution. It's becoming an engine for revolution in all these other foundational fields, basically hitting the fast-forward button on breakthroughs in areas like quantum computing.
And that really leaves us with one last question to chew on. As AI gets exponentially better at finding answers and intelligence becomes this abundant resource, what's the new role for us, for human expertise? Maybe the most valuable skill isn't about knowing things anymore. Maybe it's about knowing what questions to ask.